I'm going to try to keep this review tonight as short as possible for a couple reasons. Number one, my phone's on very low battery and I don't want it to die during this review. So I'm going to keep it very short. And the second reason I'm going to keep this very short is because we got a big night tomorrow night. An All Out. And now that's a 10-match card on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is going to be a long night. AEW has a lot of content tomorrow, starting with the red carpet show at 5 o'clock. And I plan on watching everything from the red carpet to the countdown to the buy-in and then to the show itself. So for myself, I'm going to have at least 7 good hours of professional wrestling tomorrow night. And I'm trying to keep my energy and my excitement not too high right now, because I want that to be high tomorrow night, if you guys understand that. So I'm going to try to make this a simple review, maybe hopefully 20 minutes. I was in the Thunderdome tonight for SmackDown. I actually thought this was a much better experience than the one I did on Monday Night Raw. I actually enjoyed the Thunderdome more tonight than I did on Raw. When I did Raw, they didn't really tell us, like, cheer this person, boo this person. They were just like, show us how you feel. And you know what? I mean, I guess I could get behind that. I guess I could get behind that with Kevin Dunn saying, show us how you feel about this superstar and that superstar. And that's where we really got the whole night. Excuse me. And then overall, I mean, this was a decent show. That's all I could ask for Raw and SmackDown. That's all we ask for every week, is decent shows. And I thought tonight was a decent show. I enjoyed myself for 2 hours in the Thunderdome. It flew by pretty fast. And I was in the Thunderdome with my brother, and we were actually having a good time. We were making up our own chants. We were going crazy. So we were just playing around, having fun. And that's what made it more fun than Raw and the 2 hours. I had a hard time getting through the 3-hour Monday Night Raw. I wasn't in there the whole time, but I mean, that show that week, that was just really boring in my opinion. And tonight, I had a little bit more fun. We got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. I'm going to try to keep it in a short amount of time. So, if you guys have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are at 198 subscribers. We are 2 subscribers away from 200. 2. So you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button, man. I really need you to come through by tomorrow night and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And then make sure you check out Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, All Out predictions. And today I made a special news video on NXT possibly moving to Tuesday night and Tony Khan AEW All Out conference call. Let's get into SmackDown really quick. We got Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns saying that Paul Heyman was out doing nothing. Roman Reigns was out with protecting his health. And what do we get? We got nothing. So we came to each other. Roman came to Paul, and Paul came to Roman. This was a great promo by Paul Heyman, actually. This was a great promo by Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns, he still feels the same, just standing there with Paul Heyman. He got on the microphone for a few seconds, or a few minutes, but this was mostly Paul Heyman talking. And Paul Heyman cuts a great promo, and he cut a really damn good promo here about Roman Reigns and him winning the Universal Championship at Payback. So this was a great start off to SmackDown. Then we got into our first match. I'm not even going to go over most of the notes in the Thunderdome because I'm just trying to save time tonight. I don't want to be here forever. Then we got a match between Heavy Machinery versus The Miz and Morrison. And this was very comedy for a tag team match. This was a very comedy tag team match, but I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it was. I don't know, man. They're just Heavy Machinery, Miz and Morrison. They're just way too comedy, from my opinion. This match was way too comedy. And Otis won with the second rope splash, with a second rope splash, pinning the Miz. Heavy Machinery was celebrating, but then John Morrison stole the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis, and he ran off with the briefcase. And we get to the later of the night. Tucker's like, we're going to get that briefcase back from John Morrison. We're going to get that briefcase. And Otis is like, no, man, it's fine, man. It's fine. And then Otis has a mini-sized briefcase, which this is what I'm talking about with the comedy stuff. Otis has a mini-sized briefcase, and he pulls out the contract from that briefcase, and he says, I still get my championship match, no matter what briefcase it is in, because I have the paper. And then we go back to Morrison. Morrison celebrating. Miz is like, you're not Money in the Bank, that since you just stole a contract. Morrison's still celebrating. He opens the contract and he finds a sandwich in the contract. So this is what I'm talking about. I hated this stuff. I don't know why these teams are feuding, but we see them feuding way too much, in my opinion. Way too much. We're seeing Miz Morrison and Heavy Machinery feud with each other, and they need to move on. They really need to move on from each other and do different things. Once the draft happens in hopefully October, Miz and Morrison, hey, no. Goodbye. Big E was in the backstage area with Drew Gulak, who it was his birthday, and he actually spoke to us in the Thunderdome. Jeff Hardy spoke to us. Drew Gulak spoke to us. He actually made us exercise and do 10 jumping jacks. So that's the surprise from the Thunderdome tonight. We had to do jumping jacks with Drew Gulak. And then Cesaro was in the Thunderdome. He was pretty cool. He seems like a pretty cool person outside of WWE. I would actually like to meet Cesaro, to be honest. He seems like a really cool person. But I mentioned Drew Gulak because he was in this segment. It was his birthday. He was wearing a birthday hat. He looked like a clown wearing that. Lucha House Party was back with Big E. He said, this is not only a big night because Woods is back. He's back on Talking Smack. That's a big night because it's Drew Gulak's birthday. And they were all clapping, and Big E had a cake. And then a security guard came up to Big E and he was like, Xavier Woods has just arrived. So Big E was all happy. He took the cake and he got blindsided by Sheamus. Sheamus beat the crap out of Big E and he gave him a white noise onto a car windshield, which took Big E out of the Fatal 4-Way match later in the show. Big E was set up by the security guard. I was messing around with this with my brother. I'm like, how dare that security guard? He turned on Big E, goddammit. But this was probably a setup by Sheamus attacking Big E. And Big E's out of the match. And now he's going to go for redemption against Sheamus, a man who he has already beaten twice. So we then get commentary reacting at the table for Big E's attack, and then Michael Cole says, we're about to have one of the greatest tag team championship rematches in the history of SmackDown. Yes, let me repeat that. This might be the greatest tag team championship match in the history of SmackDown. Meaning that we had Sasha and Bayley go up against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Now this is going to be the biggest talking point of the whole show. This will be the biggest talking point of the entire show. Not because of the match. I had to think what I had to say there. Not because of the match, but what happened after the match. But we get to the match, and this match was actually really good. I cannot believe I'm saying really good and Nia Jax in the same sentence. 90% of the match, the portion of the match where it was Bayley and Sasha and Shayna Baszler, the ending sucked. Okay? The ending sucked when Nia Jax got the hot tag and she hit a sloppy crossbody and she ended up hitting both Sasha Banks and Bayley. That was horrible. I did not like that whatsoever. That was a not good finish whatsoever. But the part where Shayna was just destroying the knee of Sasha Banks and doing everything she can to break Sasha Banks' knee, that was fantastic. That exchange right there made Shayna Baszler look great. And she's finally coming into her zone, I feel like, as Shayna Baszler. She is getting a lot of TV time. Yes, she teams up with Nia Jax of all people, but she looked really good at Payback, and she looked great tonight. So I'm really liking what we're seeing by the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, right now. It's good stuff. But Shayna tries to go for the same finish she did at Payback. This time Bayley counters it into a belly and belly. Sasha tags in Bayley. Nia Jax gets in, and then we get the finish like I told you guys. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax retained the Women's Tag Team Championships. After the match, we got doctors surrounding Banks, wanting to help her up. Bayley's just sitting in the corner all by herself. She's like, I got this, I got this. Don't touch my knee, don't touch my knee. And then she pushed the doctors. Bayley was like, get away, get away. So Sasha is rolling over to the apron. Bayley walks over there. Bayley's about to hop down. But then she kicks Sasha Banks right in the face. And the turn has happened. Bayley turned on Sasha Banks. She's going away at Sasha Banks. She's punching her in the face, stomping her down. She threw her into the ring post. She threw her into the steel steps. Her knee into the steel steps. She slammed a bad knee into the steel steps. They go back in the ring. Bayley is still beating her up. She gave her the belly and belly. She's doing knee strikes at Sasha Banks' left knee. And then Bayley grabs a chair and puts it around Sasha Banks' neck. And she goes to the top rope and she stomps on the leg of the steel chair. And it affects the neck of Sasha Banks. And then Sasha Banks gets carried out on a stretcher, and Bayley has a sick smile on her face. This was incredible. This was incredible. I have to give WWE so many props here. This has been my favorite storyline in the company for months now. Ever since May, after WrestleMania. This has been good. It hasn't been a home run storyline, but it's been really good television. And we all expected, with Bayley not really giving a shit about Sasha. She didn't help Sasha retain the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam against Asuka. Sasha was there for her, but Bayley wasn't really there. We all thought that Sasha Banks was going to be the one who snapped on Bayley and made the breakup happen. But it was Bayley. It was Bayley that made it happen. Bayley did not really give a shit about Sasha Banks the entire time. And you could tell, she's in it. She was in it for herself. She was in it for herself. And now, let the fireworks begin. The fireworks have been set off. We are on stage 1 of the Sasha Banks-Bayley feud. Stage 1 was tonight, with Bayley turning on Sasha Banks and writing Sasha Banks off television. She is no way not going to come back for a month or 2 months. She has to be out for a very long time after that attack. Sasha Banks has to be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble match. She has to win the Royal Rumble match, and then we get Sasha Banks going after Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Can WWE do this? Can they do it? Most of the time, I don't trust WWE in long-term booking. And that's what they've told us to do for a long time now. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to trust WWE here. But I want to put my faith into this. I want to believe that Sasha is going to come back at the Royal Rumble. She's going to win. And then she's going to go on to face Bayley at WrestleMania with her as the heel and Bayley as the babyface. This is a long time coming, folks. This match is a long time coming. If you guys think about it, back to 2018, Sasha Banks and Bayley should have absolutely been the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania over Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. That should have absolutely been the Raw Women's Championship match. Instead, they were shafted into the Women's Battle Royal, which I thought was complete bullshit. That was bullshit. But now we're getting it here. I hope WWE it does really good on this. This turn tonight by Bayley was incredible. Good stuff tonight, man. That was... Are we good? Okay, my camera stopped on me accidentally. I don't know why. But you guys get my point on the Bayley heel turn on Sasha Banks. I thought that was incredible. Let's move on. We got Sami Zayn, the so-called Intercontinental Champion, who is the rightful champion in my opinion, down the ring. And Greg Hamilton, he told Greg Hamilton that something was wrong. And he just called him Sami Zayn. He didn't say Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion. This is Bayley, that's just a straightforward, basic segment. Sami was doing his thing. Then Jeff Hardy came out and started bickering with him. Then AJ Styles came out, and all three of them brawled, with Sami Zayn hitting the haluva kick, being the last one standing. So, it's whatever. We're more than likely going to get a triple threat match at Clash of Champions. And I think that match should be really good if done correctly. Those are three really good wrestlers right there, with AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy. And then the main event with the Fatal 4-Way. We got Matt Riddle, Sheamus, Baron Corbin, and Big E's replacement, Jey Uso. Now, the only reason Jey Uso was in this match is because when WWE booked this, they realized none of these guys winning would make sense at all. None of the guys winning would make sense. So what they did was they had Sheamus take out Big E earlier in the night, which we talked about earlier. And they put Jey Uso in that spot of Big E. And Jey Uso, believe it or not, ended up winning the match. Yes, Jey Uso is the #1 contender for the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions. Now, I got a few things to say about this. Number one, I really did not like the match whatsoever. I was pretty bored watching the match through the Thunderdome, and quite frankly, I just wanted it to get over with. I wanted to get over with because I was getting tired at that point. But I still had fun in the Thunderdome tonight. It was more fun than when I was on the Thunderdome for Raw. Okay. Jey Uso. He's going on the Clash of Champions to face Roman Reigns. No one expected that. It's unpredictable. It makes sense. And I like that. It's very unpredictable. WWE did a unpredictable thing tonight with having Jey Uso be the number one contender for the Universal Championship. And now it's cousin versus cousin at Clash of Champions. But that does not mean he deserves a Universal title match. How long was he off television for? 3 months? I don't think he's been on television since WrestleMania. And magically, all of a sudden, he comes in. He does a backstage segment with Roman Reigns. And poof. Jey Uso is now the number one contender for the Universal Championship. And then another reason they're doing this is because there's no baby faces on SmackDown outside of Bray Wyatt that could challenge Roman Reigns for the championship. And they can't beat they don't want to beat Bray Wyatt, I think. Or they might be saving that for a bigger date. I'm not sure. They could be saving that match for Survivor Series for all we know. But Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. I hope it's good. The story will probably be good. But we'll see what happens. Overall, like I said in the beginning, tonight's SmackDown, decent show. We got that incredible heel turn with Bayley and Sasha. If you won't even call it a heel turn, since Bayley was kind of already a heel. I guess you could call it a betrayal on her best friend, Sasha Banks. And then we got Jey Uso becoming the new number one contender for the Universal Championship. Those were the two major things that happened tonight. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent show. And I had a fun time in the Thunderdome tonight. So, I'm going to get out of here, man. I got to get rest. Tomorrow is a huge day for me. Huge. I got to wake up for work at 6:30 and then I done at 1. That's going to work. That's going to suck working in the morning tomorrow. But hey, at least I'm working in the morning and not the afternoon tomorrow. So, tomorrow's a busy day. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're 2 subscribers away from 200 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button, man, if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. We just need 2 people to hit the subscribe button. And I need you to comment down below what you thought of tonight's episode of SmackDown. What you thought of about the Bayley turn on Sasha Banks and Jey Uso becoming the number one contender for the Universal Championship. If you liked what I had to say about tonight's SmackDown, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and then follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. That's going to be a place where you want to follow me. You're going to want to follow me on Twitter, especially tomorrow, because after I'm done work, I'll be tweeting all day about All Out tomorrow. So look forward to that. And I'm going to upload this and head to bed for the night. So have a good night. Stay safe, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night for your All Out review right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Take care, guys.